What is going on, everybody? I am Delusions, and I'm sorry again for all of the delayed posts on some of these videos. It's been holidays after holidays, and then right now in the Delusion household, we are all kind of a little bit sick. So we got that going for us, but I want to thank you all again for all the support and stuff that you've been giving me as I start to make some of these videos, and it gives me a lot of motivation to keep on going and provide little updates and stuff for you. But with all that being said, I wanted to come here today to kind of give you my update on how I am liking the Dark Lord class. I think that it still has a lot going for it. It's still very difficult to play at times. I'm finding myself dying a lot more to people that I wouldn't have if I was still agility soul mage or war mage or whatever the class is nowadays. Um, but we just turned around and hit our Kundun seal opening for the second time. So this will be pushing us into the 500 levels. Today was our first day, so we've got 4 more days to go. So very hopeful that coming into this fifth set's really going to kind of do smooth out the rough edges on this class and make it a little bit more playable. I have learned a lot, going through trial and error, or more like error and error and error. Um, just trying to see what's going to work for this class, at least for me. I know from a lot of other players that are very heavily invested, that are able to go through and maximize their sets and everything. They're seeing a lot of benefit, but unfortunately for those that, like myself, they want they want to invest, they want to make sure that their character is where it needs to be, but some of these items that it's requiring are just so freaking expensive. Um, and the reason why I say that is because if we go into our sets, I have gone through the third set and the fourth set, and I still don't have the core piece. Um, Now, that being said, I don't know if there's another way that we can get these outside of events. Really got my fingers crossed hoping that we can, just for the simple fact that I don't want to have to spend the money to get these pieces. Um, or correction, I will not spend the money to get those pieces, especially when they're pushing upwards of about $1,000 to pick up. Um, so, with that being said, um, I just wanted to give an update on what I'm doing and some of the tests and stuff that I've been going through, specifically with the sets. I have made so many different combinations of sets to see what works without the core piece, and subjectifying myself to only using one particular set. So I've split it up into two that I feel like have been working very well for me. Um, and they have kind of given me a little bit more of the survivability side, but it also hasn't diminished any of my damage that I'm able to output. Still keeps, all the juices flowing in guild bosses as well as in PvP scenarios as well. So let's take a look at what we've got here. So um, in my third and fourth sets, what I've decided to run for my accessories is going for the Karaji, or I guess it's the Scalo. I want to say Scalo set, maybe. I'm not sure. These things all confuse me at this point. I want to say it's the Scalo set. Um, but yeah, we'll pop back up here. So with the accessories, again, just going for the Karaji set, and I'm trying to pick up a little bit extra defense ignore, um, and trying to pick up some more crit damage as well as that double attack rate, and just pick up some few odds and ends along the way, just to kind of help keep that damage a little higher, to kind of counterbalance the set that I chose for all of my armor, especially going into PvP. Um, and the simple reason for that is because, though defense ignore is not going to be important for, pre 500, I feel like it's going to start to play a bigger role as we progress into these higher and higher levels. But with that being said, for my gear options, Again, since I'm not picking up the set core piece for the chest, I have chosen to go with Vicious. Um, Still staying strong with this one, just for the simple fact that it's going to give me 5% extra defense on top of what I currently have. Um, though dead hit rate, eh, I still don't necessarily understand what exactly this is, but hey, we got it. Again, my primary focus was to get this class to be a little bit more tanky. Having that extra defense and the decreasing of the skill damage has really helped out a lot in making it to where I can withstand a lot more attacks coming in. Now I'm nowhere being that god tier agility soul mage that I was before, um, just because I don't quite understand this class fully yet. I may be doing something wrong. I may be setting up my properties wrong, which I don't believe that I am at this point. Um, but we can do a quick run through on that and see if you guys notice anything that maybe I should have done differently. Um, but I've almost finished out my third set for the final time, just missing this neck piece on there, and I think that I am 10 pieces away on the materials. Scratch that. 20 away on that. Um, but no biggie. I'll definitely find it somewhere along the way. Then the fourth set, still missing my ring. I haven't gotten to the point to where I can safely afford that, especially going into Kundun Seal. Um, but again, yeah, this is what I find is going to be working for me going forward, um, especially since we are getting into those higher classes or class items and stuff like that. Still haven't got to play around in arena, so I'm sure that's going to be a slaughter fest for myself just until I get all this stuff figured out. Um, but yeah, trying to get all of the defense that I can and see where this class takes us. Um, that being said, let's take a quick overview while I go ahead and help this person out. Oh, never mind, it must be a glitch. So with my properties, the way I've been doing this is with my 400 set, I wanted to make sure that I got all the skills entirely. That way I could not worry about them anymore, and then I could solely start investing more and more and more into strength. Um, just to kind of build that damage up and support, because a lot of these from the common side are all based off of what your strength is, or how much you have into this or how much you have into this. So just trying to find the happy medium and balance it all out. So as an overview, I've got 78 into attack, I've got 91 into defense, and then I have 37 into common. um, as you can see, I've got 4 property points that I have not thrown in anywhere yet. Um, Big reason on that is because I can't proceed any further. I need more strength on this one. I need more strength down here. Um, and I need more strength up here. Um, but I feel like going into that fifth set's where I can really start having some fun with this and see where see what all other kind of mischief and trouble I can get into along the way. Um, Again, I want to make this as tanky but as balanced as possible. So trying to find a happy medium has definitely been a struggle. But please feel free to look through this. And if you've got questions, if you've got comments, if you see something that I'm doing wrong that possibly I could do better on, let me know. Or give me your feedback in the comments. Maybe we can collaborate and work on something together. Because again, we're all in this to help each other in the long run. So let's move on to something else. Okay, so again, that's what I'm doing for the Dark Lord class. Um, and I'm going to sound like a broken record to the end of the days on this one, but if you've got any kind of feedback, anything that can help me, anything that can help anybody else, let me know. I'll be willing to try it out. And we can try to solidify this class as something that is worthy of playing. Um, I know that I'm still having to 100% manual everything from the PvP side, which I strongly think that that is really kind of grasp my attention as far as tinkering around with what works and what doesn't. I planned on having a plunder or something to go and show you guys some how I do my skill rotations. I guess we could talk about that real quick. So typically, since this is such a fast-moving um, play style when it comes down to the PvP side, at least for me, just because I am very squishy, I am currently, I'll show you my stats real quick before we dive into the skills. I'm sitting at 226,000 defense. Attack's not too bad. HP's not too bad. Attack speed's, right where it should be. Um, but I mean, this is a class that will definitely, you know, test your patience. So being able to understand how these skills work, when's the right time to use them, um, will definitely carry you a lot further. And we'll talk about that for a quick minute. Definitely don't want to turn this into a 20-minute video, but you guys know my routine and this is how I do things. Um, so let's give it a shot. So this is again normal mode. My skills haven't really changed. I like keeping that Royal March there just because having an increased movement speed is definitely helpful no matter where you're at in the game, especially when you're trying to run around and do um, your daily quests and stuff like that. Popping that on cooldown speeds things up a little bit just as far as the commute. Um, Blessed Shield, I don't think that'll ever leave my hotbar. Cracked Earth, especially um, going into like ancient bosses and stuff where people are, have the potential to run up on you, try to kill you, take your progress, and then finish out the boss for themselves. Cracked Earth, stuns them up for a little bit. Um, and then having that Blessing of the Dark allows you to kind of get those burn stacks going a lot quicker. Um, Even though it does take quite a bit of your attack speed and your movement speed away from you, you can kind of bounce back a little bit with hitting that Royal March and kind of get yourself back up and going. In PvP, I usually don't ever put this on my bars. Royal March, that is, just because it stays as a buff up there at the top left. But going into the battle mode, this is where I get questions on, how do I play? What is my skill rotation? I think I set this up a little backwards because I always start out on my slot two, and then I work counterclock or I work clockwise around, and we'll go through and talk about some of that. Which some of these I should probably switch up. Like for instance, I could go ahead and take, let's see here. Let's take Cracked Earth. I don't want to switch it with that. So we'll go through and these are the ones that I have equipped. So let's just swap Holy Eruption out with Cracked Earth. Alright, so when I start out, again, Blessing of the Dark, this is, again, cutting my attack speed, it's cutting my movement speed, but every time that I hit is stacking burn, which of course, Strength Dark Lord, burn is, you know, your go-to, have to have it, can't live without it, um, and survive type of thing. Um, So again, I start off with that, get those stacking up. At that point, um, when you're rushing in on a plunder, uh, it's good to pop that. Go ahead and pop Royal March. that kind of gives you back a little bit of your movement speed. Um, and then immediately try to pop your blessed shield. That's going to help mitigate a little bit of that burst damage that's coming right at you. Um, and then you can follow it up with soul shock to kind of give a little bit of damage going in, then followed up with cracked earth. Cracked earth is going to stun them, and then you're coming back up to heaven's punishment. I believe that's what that's called. And again, applying more skill damage. Ignite will turn around and do some explosive damage on top of how many burn stacks you have going on. Um, Wild Blow is again a lot of damage, uh, just coming straight skill damage, and then of course it plays off of your strength too. I believe the more strength that you have, the higher skill damage you're doing. Now, I've been kind of torn. I really didn't know what to put in my last spot, which is why Holy Eruption has been kind of stuck here. But I've been thinking about throwing in Tobias or going through and maybe doing Scepter Fury. It's just not 100% sure. Um, then again, Scepter Fury only is going to work, in a multi PvP environment. So like your Chaos Castle or Castle Siege and stuff like that. But I plan on trying this out later on this evening. Once we do go into our Castle Siege, just because I'm curious to see how it does. It says enormous amount of direct skill damage, but what does enormous mean? Am I going to go in and one-shot people? Am I going to sit there and struggle? Um, but yeah, I just want to see how all of this plays out. Then again, I may Scepter Fury actually may trigger while as far as like an auto type skill, but I'm not sure. So let's go and test this out real quick. So we'll go into auto combat and we'll try to find somewhere that's not swarming with people right now. Let's go to channel 2. That works. And then I just want to take a look. So if we're up here, let's go into our settings. So I know on our normal mode we've got Scepter Fury in there. I just want to swap out a skill just to see if that is proccing automatically or if that is something that I need to be triggering myself. Let's see, I know Royal March triggers by itself. So let's go ahead. Okay, so it does seem like it is triggering on its own, so no real need to put that on a hotbar. I do believe that I have that on my battle mode as well, and I do. And I think Tobias triggers by itself as well, so does Eagle's Fury. Um, so no, I actually think that, throwing on Holy Eruption is going to be okay. Oh, and by the way, this is how I still have my normal mode, so everything for PvE, guild boss, and stuff like that. And then I just do my main 4 triggers, whether it being Blessing of the Dark, um, or popping Royal March, or the what's that other one? Cracked Earth, just to kind of get those going. And right now at level 500, I was doing, I think, close to 350 billion DPS or damage in Guild Boss. So I think that that's pretty fair for where I should be. Maybe not, who knows? But again, as always, if you've got any questions, if you have anything that you see that I had potentially missed, please let me know. I'd be glad to help out um, and do another follow-up video on this. I feel like I'm probably going to to make a series just on this class until I get everything ironed out. But with that being said, I am Delusions, and I am out. Take care.